Trellick Tower in North Kensington is one of the capital's most instantly recognisable buildings. Designed by Erno Goldfinger, it's seen by some as a landmark of 60s brutalist architecture, but by others as a symbol of crude social planning and urban alienation. Now, though, the iconic tower is being turned into a pop-up theatrical space, hosting performances inspired by Trellick's own residents. People either love or loathe Trellick Tower. Built as a council estate in 1968 and opened in 1972 near the Westway, it's the setting for a dramatic work staged by social theatre group Spid and involving young people from West London and some of the residents of the brutalist edifice.
Trellick Tales was inspired by Trellick Tower itself. Spid is an organisation that specialises in working on council estates. People living on council estates often feel alienated by theatre because they think of theatre as something that's expensive, they think of it as something that happens on the stage. Our solution to this is make sure that the work is relevant and that it's happening in a way that's exciting for them.
The concierge told me there's going to be a party and there's going to be food and drink.
No way!
Yeah, I said we will all be there. Let's go. Trellick Tales is a project to learn about the building, Trellick Tower, and the history about it and the people who live there.
The project, lasting 2 months, will use sketches performed by the actors and audio recordings to bring the history of the estate to life. Megan is one of the young people working with the group for the first time. Like many of the others, Trellick has played a big part in her life.
Been going there since I was little, and I used to go and play in the lift a lot. Well, my auntie lives in Trellick Tower. I think she lives on the 9th floor, and she told me about the project.
When you look to the top, it doesn't feel like you can see the whole across London. But like when you're up there, it's different.
At the beginning of the rehearsals, to give the cast of Trellick Tales a unique perspective and to break the ice, they've arranged to visit the roof.
You just see it very clearly. On one side, there's like so much greenery, Battersea Power Station, Westfield, and then you look on the other side and there's like, the buildings just get taller. This is better than the London Eye.
It really is.
Because we get to stay here for a bit of time.
And you're not charged so much.
Yeah.
Before they can start scripting, the group must find out everything there is to know about Trellick and its architect Erno Goldfinger. And so they enlist the help of Henrietta Billings from the 20th Century Society.
Erno Goldfinger, the architect, he was personally blamed for his architecture and the reason why people hated living here. Wow. And he argued it's not to do with him, his buildings were perfectly fine, it's actually the people that were put in them that messed it all up.
Goldfinger was very creative with his ideas and he wanted to make it like streets in the sky. However, some people do say that it's like boxes on top of each other.
Try to solve, besides the normal problems of architecture and building, problems of economics, population density, the problems of children, teenagers and old people.
He built his first very modernist style building in Hampstead called Willow Road. His house at Willow Road was seen as very different and not very popular with people who thought it didn't fit in. One of the people that found it particularly hard was Ian Fleming, the writer of James Bond, who named his villain in his book Goldfinger. As soon as it was publicised, Erno Goldfinger was furious. He said, it's this portrayal of a villain in a James Bond book is much too similar to my character. I insist that you make a public declaration that it has nothing to do with me. We're actually in Goldfinger's original office, which I think is really exciting. He was here in the 70s until he retired in 1977, which must have been a particularly interesting time and challenging time for him because in the 1970s this place had a very different feel from how it does now.
Trellick is full of hidden nooks and crannies. Another place the public never see, the unique boiler room at the top of the tower, deserted for 31 years.
I can see Wembley Stadium.
Yeah. You can see Wembley Stadium,
wow.
Yeah.
This is what we see from down there. We're literally suspended over the air.
Dozens of residents offered to share their experience living in Trellick to help with the script. So their voices are recorded by Rib Davies from the Oral History Society. The first interviewee, Annabella, has lived in the tower nearly 20 years.
Could you tell me your memories of moving into Trellick Towers?
I feel like happy at the time because I don't have a house, I don't have nothing, and they gave me opportunity to have my flat to raise my kids.
What was the area like before?
Rough.
It was rough.
Yeah, it's rough. Drugs everywhere.
And how long did this go on for?
Quite a few years.
And then it calmed down and things were better for you and you felt more safe, would you say? Or?
Yeah, it's not so rough, but still have some issues on the street.
In the 80s, Trellick was known as the Terror Tower. JP has witnessed its transformation into a major tourist attraction.
We would have this strange situation where everybody that walked past felt they needed to come in and needed to go to the top of the building. They then started to invest in the building, and the quality of life within the block has improved considerably. It's just a great place to live, really. It's a wonderful environment.
With show day approaching, the actors block out the scenes which accompany the audio interviews.
It was interesting to speak to the residents to find out about their stories, and I've never been involved in this kind of theatre before. So you're telling stories not that are fictitious, you're telling real life stories.
There's going to be like a promenade performance where they'll have like headphones and they'll have some audio, and then there'll be moments, let's say, inspired by the stories of the residents. So now we're just rehearsing.
What time is this, Manuela?
What are you doing here? I thought you had football.
Mum said she wanted to do home straight after school. You wait till she gets back home.
After weeks of research and rehearsal, the cast of Trellick Tales are ready. Each performance has an audience of 10 who are taken on a tour of the building as the play unfolds around them.
Trellick Tower is an example of what we call brutalist architecture, and the term brutalist originates from the French word for raw concrete. Without much ado, we're going to press track 1. Let's pop along this way.
I said we will be there. Come. Good luck with that, man. I'm not coming. I'm going carnival, man. That's dead. Why? I'm going carnival.
I don't have a house, I don't have nothing, and they gave me opportunity to have my flat to raise my kids.
It's just a great place to live, really. It's a wonderful environment.
It's great to look at. It really is streets in the sky.
We're going to go through the corridor and you can have a sort of better view of London through. Excuse me, it's going towards the east.
What are you doing here? I thought you had football.
Mum said she wants to do home straight after school. You wait till she gets back from home.
Go on, tell her. You've been her care.
What's going on with you?
Why don't you just stay out of my life?
Where were you?
Thank you.
The culmination of all their work has paid off. Their next project, a feature on the estate around Trellick, will be made over the next year.